guys, welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be doing another ins and outs of fish keeping. In today's video we're going to be talking about one of the worst things that could happen to you as a fish keeper. The power goes out. It happens to all of us eventually. The power goes out and you're stuck. What do? You panic, right? No, I'm kidding. Whatever you do not panic. If the power goes out, it's really not that big of a deal. Most power outages will only last up to about 1 to 8 hours. Usually they get solved even quicker than that. And if the power only goes out for a couple of hours, I wouldn't even worry about your fish tank. But if you know that it's going to happen for a while, yeah, I would start thinking about doing some things. And I mean, when it comes to me, I live in a really good area where power outages are very rare. They rarely happen. And if they only take place for a couple of hours, I normally don't even worry about it. However, I will say this, they have been occurring more often because of everything that's going on in the world right now. That kind of sucks. That's kind of scaring me, which is why I am going to be taking precautions, and we're going to talk about those precautions in today's video, as well as give you certain options you can do when it comes to taking care of your tank during a power outage. So, first thing you might think about is temperature. This isn't something I worry about at all. Okay, so you have a tropical tank. Well, most tropical fish can handle a colder temperature. And if it's during the winter, only if there's a power outage during the winter would I actually worry about the temperature. You know, they can handle colder temperatures to an extent, but you do have to watch it when you have tropical fish. So you could do a warm water change. You want to do this slowly because fish do not like instant temperature changes like that. It will shock their system and they could possibly die, unfortunately. The best thing you could do is you could do a warm water change, slowly bring the temperature up. Now this is going to be difficult because of course it's freezing cold right now if you're doing this during the winter. However, you could also use heat packs, you know. You could get a couple of heat packs and just put them underneath your tank, and whenever it gets cold, just pull one out and slap it on your tank. It'll keep the tank nice and warm. That's an option you could do as well. Now, during the summer, if you have a humongous heat wave, what do you do then? Well, you could do, again, a water change, a cold water change, doing it slowly to bring down the temperature. You could also put ice cubes, just a couple of ice cubes at a time. You could put them in your tank to again slow down the temperature. And as long as you do it carefully and slowly, as to not do it quickly and shock your fish, then you should be fine when it comes to temperature. Really, if I'm being honest with you, temperature is the last thing I think about. Most fish can handle a lower temperature, and most fish can handle a higher temperature. As long as you know that you can do certain things with your fish tank if it becomes a problem, then that's always an option. An option is to put foam around your tank when it's cold. An option is to take off the top when it's hot. There are possibilities that you can do. What I worry about the most is oxygen exchange. The power is out. The oxygen is out. The pump is out. The pump's not making surface tension anymore. Your filter is not making surface tension anymore. Why is surface tension so important? I actually made a video about that about surface tension earlier this year, so I'll leave a card up here, or it'll be at the end of the video that you can watch the whole playlist of ins and outs of fish keeping for that. But the fact is, that's what I'm mostly worried about. I'm mostly worried about gas exchange. It's the most important thing when it comes to your fish. Because believe it or not, and a lot of people don't know this, fish breathe in oxygen. I'm not going to go through the whole process. I did that in a previous video. But the fact is, that's what I'm mostly worried about. Stagnant water doesn't create gas exchange. Stagnant water is like throwing a bag over the fish's mouth, you know. They're breathing in, they're not able to get oxygen out, they're not able to get oxygen in, they're not able to get CO2 out of the tank. That's the problem with no surface tension. What can you do to create surface tension? Well, when you're doing a water change, you're splashing around the tank, so that could create surface tension, so go ahead and do a water change. But the fact is, you're not going to sit there all day splashing the water until the power comes on, right? And what about plants? You know? So you have plants in the tank. Don't those produce oxygen? Well, here's the fact. Plants only create oxygen when they do photosynthesis, and if your lights are out, which if the power's out, your lights are out, plants are not producing oxygen either. So, again, it's just another huge problem you gotta deal with. The best way to deal with this is to have a battery-powered air pump, which I actually have. I actually have a battery-powered air pump. I just bought these to do this video as well as to put them on these tanks. And what's really, really nice about these is they actually have a plug. So you plug them in and they sense power. When the power goes out, that sensor kicks on, and then this goes straight to battery power and produce oxygen for your tank. Now, air pumps don't actually put oxygen into your tank, but they create surface tension, which means gas is exchanging, which is really important for your fish. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and unbox this and set it on up, shall we? Alright. That's how mine came out. There's the directions for it. Your cord. Kind of difficult to open. This is some airline tubing and of course an air stone. And then this is where your batteries go in. Turn it off, close it, turn it on, and oxygen is not going to come out of this until it senses that there's no power going out. So I'm going to turn it off to be safe. Alright, so we are going to set it on the tank. Let's go. Now the one thing about this is they have to be in your tank full time to work, obviously. So if you don't want to use these airline that comes with it, you want to hide it better, you can go ahead and get some black airline, which I got here, which I'm actually going to use instead of the clear stuff. But then you can hide this somewhere in your tank, and when the power goes out, the air pump will turn on. Alright, so it does take deep batteries, and right now it's not plugged into anything, so it's sensing that the power is off. If I turn it on, you can hear it. It is producing some air in there, so that's good. Let's go ahead and put it on the tank.